Welcome back. Today we're doing puzzle number 5 in the Fiendish Logic Puzzle book, Best in Show. We've got 7 different dogs of 7 different breeds and with 7 different owners who won in 7 different years, all a year apart. Let's jump right into it. Ginger's dog won 4 years after Shadow. So we know that Ginger is not Shadow's owner. And if Shadow was the first to win in 2006, the earliest that Ginger could have won would be 4 years later, 2010. And if Ginger was the last to win in 2012, the earliest Shadow could have won was 2008, 4 years prior. Number 2. Of the Beagle and Elsie's dog, one was Best in Show in 2009, the other is Max. Okay, so first of all, Elise is not the Beagle dog owner, and Max is not 2009. Okay, now let's see. We don't know enough yet to do much after this, so let's move on. Douglas's dog won 2 years after Stella. So Douglas is not Stella. And if Stella was the first to win, the earliest Douglas could have been is 2 years after that in 2008. And you get the idea for Stella. Number 4, of Samson and the dog who won in 2006. So Samson wasn't the dog who won 2006, which is also the first dog. One is Chester, the other is the Great Dane. So Chester does not have the Great Dane. Let's see. All right. Max won 3 years after Fernando's dog. So Max is not Fernando's. We also know a little bit about Max too, but let's finish this first. So if Fernando was the first to win, the earliest Max could be is 3 years after that, which would be 2009. But we already know Max can't be 2009, so Fernando can't be 2006. And of course, Max won 3 years after Fernando's dog, so the latest Fernando would be 2009. Okay. Of the Beagle and Elsie's dog, one was Best in Show, the other is Max. In 2009, the other is Max. So now we know that Elsie and the Beagle, they could only be either in 2009 or any year that Max could have won. So now we know we can't be 2006, 2007, or 2008. And same for the Beagle. The Dalmatian won sometime after the Maltese, but not in 2009. So the Dalmatian, not in 2009. Also not first, because it has to be after the Maltese, which means the Maltese can't be last. This also tells us that the Dalmatian, can't be 2009. I guess it could still be Elsie's dog if it was Max, so let's just ignore that for now. The Chow Chow is either Shadow or Douglas's dog. So first off, we know that Douglas is not Shadow's owner. Let's see. The Bulldog isn't Princess. So this is not the Bulldog. Okay. A Anita's dog is either the Great Dane or the dog that won in 2010. So we X that out. More than that, the Great Dane is either Samson or 2006. So Anita can be 2006, 2010, or anything Samson can be, which so far isn't saying anything, but we'll keep it in mind. Elsie's Canine won before Samson. Okay. Before Samson. Oh, that we were just talking about it. This actually will narrow it down because Elsie, the earliest it could be, was 2009, and Samson has to be after her, so he can't be any of this. Now, the earliest that Samson can be is 2010, which would be 1 year after Elsie. And speaking of, Elsie can't be last because then there's nothing after her. Okay, let's go back. So Samson can now only be 2010, 2011, 2012. So Anita's dog, let's look at that. Let's see. Let me just, one is Chester's, the other's the Great Dane. The Great Dane is either Samson or 2006. So Anita's dog could be 2006, 2010, or anything Samson can be, which X's out 2007 and 2008 and 2009. So basically at this point, yep. Great Dane won Best in Show 1 year before the Bulldog. Okay. Great Dane, 1 year before the Bulldog. So the Bulldog can't be first. Before the Bulldog, yep. Bulldog can't be first, Great Dane can't be last. And 1 year before the 1 year before the Bulldog, that means can't be 2011. We cross that out. And we, of course, know that the Bulldog is not Princess. Okay, let's see. Neither Riley nor Elsie's dog is the Great Dane. Oh, okay. Riley is the dog's name, nor Elsie's dog. So Riley is not Elsie's dog, and neither of those are the Great Dane. Samson won sometime before Barbara's dog. Oh, that's interesting. Let's start with how Samson is not Barbara's dog. And now Barbara has to be sometime before. I guess it's not that interesting because before means... No, yeah. No, Samson is before. So the very latest Barbara could be and still be after Samson would be 2011. Yeah, so if it was 2011, Samson would be before, and then what's before that? Something else would be before that. Good. And Riley, we already know, is not the Great Dane, but she's also not the Bulldog nor the Dalmatian. Okay, first run through, we have a lot of hints. A lot to work with. I have a feeling we're going to get even more if we keep going. But let's take a minute just to review the grid, because I see that Stella and Shadow both can't be Barbara. Let's see what else. 2009. Yep, Shadow can't be Elsie. Max and Samson can't be Fernando's. Anything else? I'm sure plenty. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the Great Dane can either be 2006 or any year that Samson won, which is just the 2010s, because it has to be either Samson or 2006. Oh, and that means only 2006 or 2011. Okay, and the same for Chester. Oh, look at that. Now we know that Fernando is 2007. Tentatively, let's double check that. 2007. Who could be 2007? Anita. Let's double check that. Okay, Ginger has to be 4 years after Shadow, so she can't be 2007. Elsie. Elsie is either Max or 2009, and Max is 3 years after Fernando, and not 2000. So, not 2009, so. So this is out. Douglas. Douglas is 2 years after Stella. Chester. Only be 2006 or Samson. Samson has to be after Elsie. Samson has to be after Elsie, who has to be pretty much, what Max can be, or 2009 or later. And Max is 3 years after Fernando, so that's where a lot of that comes from. Barbara has to be after Samson. And Anita is either Samson 2006 or 2010, not 2007. Yep, so that only leaves Fernando. Great. And Xing that out leaves only Douglas in 2008. And doing that leaves Elsie in 2009. All right. Let's take a look. Fernando. Max won 3 years after Fernando. 1, 2, 3. Max. Elsie is 2009. That means Max is the Beagle. Douglas is 2 years after Stella. That gives Stella as our 2006. Of Salmon and the dog that won in 2006, aka Stella. One is Chester's and the other is the Great Dane. Alright, because Max is 2010, now Samson is either 2011 or 2012, but so is Barbara, and Samson has to be before Barbara. So actually, no matter what, it couldn't be last, because that's not before anything, that's after all of them. We'll give that a check, and Barbara a check here. Okay, now, of Samson the dog that won 2006, aka 2011 and 2006. Now we know Chester is only 2006 or 2011. We can cross that out. Same with the Great Dane, but we already knew that because it's the Bulldog. Okay. Oh, the Great Dane won. Yeah, what? Great Dane won Best in Show 1 year before the Bulldog. Bulldog. We can X out the rest of these. Bulldog is either Fernando or Barbara. Pardon me. Well, we know that Riley isn't Elise's dog, so we can scratch that out. The Dalmatian won after the Maltese. Doesn't really help us yet. Do we know Shadow? Okay. Ginger, 4 years after Shadow. No, we don't know that yet. Check off number 3. Beagle was 2009. Reverse it. Beagle was Max. Elsie's was 2009. Okay, what was the other one that was of Samson and Stella, or 2011, 2010, 2006, Chester, or the Great Dane? Fernando first. Okay, so 2006 is either Chester or the Great Dane and Anita. And Anita is either the Great Dane or in 2010. Oh, well, we could scratch off 2011 because... No, we can't. Pardon me. Anyway, start looking around. Let's clean up the board a little bit. Fernando. Beagle. Oh. Can't be Beagle. Can't be Great Dane. Douglas. Can't be... Well, let's just say none of these can be Beagle. Bulldog is Fernando, or... Let's see, Chow Chow is either Shadow or Douglas. Oh, that's a good one I missed. Let's see, so... Oh, wait, look at this. The Bulldog, the Chow Chow, either Shadow or Douglas's dog. Douglas's dog is 2008, so Shadow can't be 2008. That means he must be 2007, and the Chow Chow must be one of those 2 years, so not 2006. Good. Okay. Anything else we know about shadow? Okay. All right, we could tighten up the chow chow because it's either Shadow or Douglas's dog. Okay, so now Elsie is either Maltese and Pekingese. I feel like I just made a mistake. Like I crossed out something for the chow chow on a different column. I guess time will tell. Samson, Riley, Bulldog or Dalmatian. Well, let's see. Barbara can't be Max. Oops. Now that was a mistake. Can be Harley, Princess, or Riley. Stella can be Chester or Nita. Shadow is Fernando. Let's check that off. We know that now. It's not the Beagle or the Great Dane. Good. Let's put that here. In fact, oh, wait. What did I do? The Great Dane is either Samson or Shadow. But here I'm saying it can't be Shadow. Okay, can Fernando be the Great? Okay, let's see. The Great Dane has to be either Samson, which is in 2011, or 2006, which is Stella. So he can't be Shadow. No, that doesn't help. Oh well, it was worth a shot. Samson or Stella, and the Great Dane has to be Samson or Stella. So any one of these that can't be the Great Dane can't be either of them. Is there anything? Yeah, but no, they're all taken. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Ginger won 4 years after Shadow. 3, 4. Alright, we have everything. As far as the owner names. Chester, which by the way I'll mark off. 2010 is Anita. And who's left in 2011? Ginger. Pardon me for not seeing that sooner. So if Chester is 2006, then Samson is the Great Dane. And it's also Ginger. Oh, and look at that. That just leaves Stella as Chester's. Okay. And she can only be Maltese or Pekingese, just like Elsie's dog, which means no other person can own those breeds. They're taken. There we go. Oh, and the beagle has to be Anita, which is Max. It solves itself. Okay. So the Great Dane is Ginger's. Therefore, Anita's dog is 2010, which we already knew. So I'll just check that off. Okay. Max won 3 years after Fernando. The Dalmatian won sometime after the Maltese. Not in 2009. We don't know that yet. Okay. Next. Okay. Riley is not Elsie's dog or the Great Dane. Let's see. Not really helpful yet. Okay. Great Dane is 1 year before the Bulldog. 1 year before the Bulldog. So the Bulldog is Barbara. And is not Princess. Harley or Riley? Dalmatian, Chow Chow. Okay, Riley is neither the Bulldog nor the Dalmatian. Now we know that Harley is the Bulldog. goes to Barbara. Okay, and that only leaves Princess as Elsie. And what's left? Riley is Douglas. And not the Dalmatian, so we X that out. And that means the Dalmatian is Shadow. Dalmatian. After the Maltese. And there's only one, that means the Maltese has to be before. There's only one that's before. And Pekingese goes here. And that leaves Chow Chow. So let's fill that in. Maltese, Douglas, Chow Chow, Elsie, Pekingese, and Anita gets the Beagle. And that should be it. Now I flip to the back and I check everything. The answers, let's see. Looks like Chester, Fernando, Douglas, Elsie, Anita, Ginger, Barbara, good. Maltese, Dalmatian, Chow Chow, Pekingese Beagle, Great Dane, Bulldog. Now we have Stella, Shadow, Riley, Princess, Max, Samson, and Harley. We got it. Excellent, very smooth. All right, now I fill up the board and I, just for aesthetics, to make the puzzle complete. And I thank you all for watching. Okay, Stella, Pekingese, Maltese, Pekingese, Dalmatian, Chavez, Douglas. What did I do? Little mistake there. Luckily we've already solved it, so it doesn't matter. Riley at the Chow Chow. This is the Pekingese. Maltese is Stella. Alright, relatively smooth one. Voila! Thank you for watching.